4 years later and he's still not sleeping well. It's taking a toll. A sleep specialist, having meltdowns at night. Never really get used to not sleeping. It's been a hard time lately. Okay, I just had to find an area in my room that's not completely destroyed by my kids so that I can film this. I wanted to come on here to give you guys an update on Jacob's medication. As I told you last time, we decided to go the route of medication for Jacob because his sleep is so bad and still is so bad. I mean, before all of the medication and stuff, he was up for at least 4 hours in the early hours of the morning. So probably around 1 o'clock in the morning, he'd be up till about 4 or 5 in the morning. And the pediatrician prescribed risperidone, which is also a behavior medication along with helping sleep. Whilst Jacob was on risperidone, we didn't notice any improvement with his sleep. The only improvement we've seen with Jacob was he stopped pushing his sister over. He stopped targeting her a little bit more. And whilst that was a good thing, he did seem very agitated. He was very hungry all the time. He just seemed not himself. So I think it was around like the day before Christmas Eve, we were like so distraught. We were so tired. We were so just, I don't know. We called the pediatrician and we said, is there any way we can get in to see you? Any way we can, try something else? She called back and she said, on my last day of work, let's do a virtual meeting. On that day, we had the meeting and she prescribed Jacob clonidine. I think it's like a blood pressure medication or something like that, but it definitely makes you go to sleep. The only thing with clonidine is that it only works for 4 hours. At that point, I think Jacob was maybe waking up so many times in the night time, and we were like, okay, let's just get the 4-hour stretch. Could be better than what we're getting now. So we weaned Jacob off the risperidone and onto the clonidine, and that period of time was Christmas. So Christmas was, already going to be a stressful time, and just with, the changing of medications and things like that, it just wasn't good. I think had we not, had the medications in the mix, Christmas might have been a little bit better. But, things are going on in his body, which is completely understandable. Clonidine. Now we give this to Jacob just before bed and it works. It works as it says it should. At least it did work as it said it should. What was happening was Jacob would have the medication and he would sleep for the 4 hours and then he would wake up. In a sense, the clonidine did what it should have, but he was still waking up and having a really hard time in the middle of the night. He's gotten to the point where he's gotten a little bit aggressive in the nighttime. Like I don't want to say aggressive because I know that he's extremely frustrated. He can see it on his face. He wants to go back to sleep, but he comes into our room and he only wants me. That's the other thing, is it's not like we can share the load of not sleeping because he just won't go to Jordan. He will only go to me, and he will be screaming for hours. Screaming, pushing, trying to get me up, all of the things. And it's taking a toll. It definitely is. That's why right now Jordan is taking Jacob to the park just so I can have some time to film, but also time to myself. We had another appointment booked in for the pediatrician 2 days ago. So we went back to the pediatrician to tell her basically that it's not really working in our favor. When we got there, Jacob was extremely distressed. He does not really like doctor's offices. He doesn't like going to new places and having to stay there. I'm not sure why, but he definitely doesn't want to stay there. And as soon as we walked into her office, he was screaming and crying and pulling us to get out. And we tried for me to go take Jacob for a walk while Jordan talked to the pediatrician, but Jacob wanted everyone out. He wanted all of us to go home. It was hard in that aspect. We really could not talk to her very much. We gave her the basics, like, he's still not sleeping well. He's extremely agitated at night. He's having meltdowns at night. A lot of separation anxiety from us. He's regressed in a lot of aspects, like not wearing clothes again, and it's just been a hard time. And she was about to talk to us about a sleep specialist, and it just got too much. Like, we couldn't talk to each other because he was screaming so much. So she said, don't worry, go home, sort Jacob out, and I'll give you a phone call in the next couple of days so we can just do it over the phone and it's a little bit easier. We have an amazing pediatrician. I'm so glad we found her. She is very understanding. She is trying her best to find a solution for us. But I think that where her expertise ends is when the sleep specialist is going to come in. So I think they can work together to figure something out for Jacob, but I think we're going to be getting a referral to a sleep specialist. As you guys might know, sleep disorders are very common amongst children with autism or people with autism. It seems like, 4 years later and he's still not sleeping well, that Jacob may have some sort of sleep disorder. I mean, you can never really get used to not sleeping. Sounds really bad. But you do adapt strategies to be able to survive, that survival mode that we all talk about. So I'm here to say that if you are struggling with sleep with your child, you are not alone. If you ever want to chat to me, Instagram, message me, comment down below, I will reply. I will get there eventually. It's been a hard time lately, and that's why you haven't seen many vlogs, only sit down videos like this, because it's just too hard. It's way too hard. I tried to talk about sleep in a positive way when I'm around Jacob. I know that he does pick up on a few things, and I'm not superstitious or anything like that, but I do think that if I talk about it negatively in front of him, it does impact the way that he sleeps. So I'm trying to be a bit more positive, saying that I am grateful when he does sleep. I am grateful that he is happy. If you guys have any questions about the medications and things, comment those down below. It's obviously going to be a trial and error thing, and I don't know what the oh my god, I can't talk. The sleep specialist is going to do. However, I do have hopes that we will get a little bit more sleep. We are so lucky that Jazz is a good sleeper now. She didn't used to be, but now I think that all of the loud noise during the night, she's able to sleep through it, which is amazing because I definitely don't want two of them up at night. It doesn't work out so well. So yeah, we're just down to Jacob in the nighttime, which, it is what it is. I would love to know your experiences with sleep and your autistic kids or your kids in general, if they don't sleep well and you found that something has worked for them. I'm obviously I'm not keen on people being like, have you tried this? Have you tried that? But definitely sharing your story and your experience. My kid didn't sleep and we gave him this certain medication and this bedtime worked for us, things like that. I appreciate advice like that. It's not exactly advice, it's an experience, sharing what happened with you. I don't appreciate when someone's just like, have you tried this? You should do this, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, we have tried a lot of things. We've tried many, many things. So if you're going to advise something, I've probably thought about it or tried it with Jacob. So just so you know, we are doing okay. Jordan and I just recently went on a camping trip, 2 nights away of full night's sleep, which was perfect and a great sort of rejuvenation. Is that even a word? A great way to fill back up our cups. You can't work off an empty cup. We definitely were doing that. I think we will be continuing to do something like that every so often, just so that we do look after ourselves as well. Yeah, that's the end of this video. If you guys liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. We're keen to have as many community members as possible so we can support one another. We will see you guys in our next video.